Hello everyone, welcome to the February 28th, 2016 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm your intrepid host, Ron Berger. In this segment, we'll take a look at the upcoming planetary patterns and predictions, what's on the celestial agenda for February 28th to March 6th and beyond. Mercury changes signs, entering Aquarius on Tuesday, March 1st. Mercury in Aquarius is not a bad thing. It's the planet of rational thinking, in a sign that loves acquiring ideas and information and examining things deeply. Aquarius is the sign of humanitarian action, the sign of the group. Mercury is the planet of consensus, so this is a good combination that helps people to come to agreement. But there's a bit of a problem here. By being in Aquarius, Mercury is in position to receive the harmful square aspect of its enemy Mars. Mars is the planet of aggression and combat. Mars is hasty and impatient. Mars is not about to wait around for gathering ideas and coming to consensus. Mars throws a full-force 90 degrees aspect ahead of itself, creating a conflict zone that Mercury must now pass through. Mars having influence on Mercury changes Mercury's usually benign intentions into something more troubling and even sinister. Mars-Mercury combinations lead to distortion of the facts. In other words, lies. Mercury is the planet of communications and therefore the media. While Mercury is in Aquarius and being squared by Mars, we have to be very careful of what the intent of any communication is. You can expect a lot of controversy and disinformation while this planetary pattern is in effect. The effects start as soon as Mercury enters Aquarius and will be at their most intense this week, leading up to the exact aspect, which will be on Friday, March 4th. And notice the date when this all starts. March 1st, Super Tuesday, the day when primaries and caucuses are being held in 13 states to choose delegates for the presidential nomination conventions of the Democrat and Republican parties. Mercury, as the planet of making decisions, is the planet most closely tied to voting. With Mars's influence on Mercury, it is quite likely there will be some shenanigans going on during the March 1st voting. While transiting in Scorpio, Mars is forced to join forces with Saturn. Mars is strong in its own sign, but has to contend with Saturn, which has been in Scorpio since November 2014. Saturn is all about delay, obstruction, restriction, containment. Mars and Saturn are like opposite poles of a magnet and are forced to combine. Both Mars and Saturn are classed as natural malefics, in other words, planets which have a natural potential to do harm. Another astrological principle in operation here is that by being in Scorpio, a sign ruled by Mars, Mars becomes the delivery agent for Saturn. This is the rule of dispositorship, where a planet's energy is transferred to and gets expressed through the planetary ruler of that sign. Thus, Saturn's energy is being transferred to Mars, making Mars essentially doubly malefic. Mars is now manifesting Saturn's energy as well as its own energy. All planets broadcast their energy through their aspects. Since it is also carrying the energy of Saturn, the aspect of Mars is now especially deadly. Like all planets, Mars sends its energy across the zodiac to the other side, influencing the planet and signs opposite, in this case Taurus. Mars also puts out a full-force square aspect to the sign 4 signs ahead of itself, in this case Aquarius. Lastly, Mars has a special 8th house aspect, which will land on Gemini. These signs, and any planets within, will be under attack by Mars during the next 7 months. Case in point is the upcoming square aspect of Mars on Mercury. So, Mercury, the planet of rational thinking, data, and information, is in serious trouble over the coming week. Okay, that'll do it for this week's look at what's going on in the heavens. Thanks for visiting astrologynewsreport.com. I'll be posting updates during the week on Twitter at Astro News Report.